It is.
Do you not see the slippery slope when the president is able to give and receive gifts in a very transactional way? Like, what if there is a Democratic president who's in power next, and he's not as favorable to a company that you care about?
No,
and
wait
then he
a second.
begins to...
Every president of the United States is gifted everything.
MAGA creep Kevin O'Leary was a guest on Abby Phillip's show wearing yet another strange outfit. I don't know what this is that Kevin O'Leary is wearing exactly, but he went up against a panel that included Adam Mockler to discuss the latest participation trophy for Donald Trump. We're going to take a look at clips from Abby Phillip's show with this panel with Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary, progressive host Adam Mockler, and the rest. I want to share my thoughts as well. Let's get into this one together.
Tonight, while his administration is under scrutiny over alleged war crimes and losing key allies in the process, President Trump, he's now accepting a peace award that he has been calling for. But it's not a Nobel, it's FIFA.
Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your peace prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go.
I'm going to wear it right now.
Okay, let me hold. Fantastic. Excellent.
Yes, that really happened. The irony of putting a medal on himself for an award that was created just for him is not lost here, but Trump was honored nonetheless.
Thank you very much. This is truly one of the great honors of my life. And beyond awards, John and I were discussing this. We saved millions and millions of lives. The Congo, as an example, over 10 million people killed, and it was heading for another 10 million very quickly. And it just, you know, the fact that we could do that, India, Pakistan, so many different wars that we're able to end.
The award is the latest in what the Bulwark calls his participation trophies, a 24-karat gold plaque from Apple, a different peace award from the Nixon Foundation, a gold crown from South Korea during the No Kings protest, a Rolex clock that's worth more than 100 grand from Switzerland, and gold, silver, and bronze medals from the Olympic Committee, to which Trump joked, "Can I say I won them athletically?" Well, I don't know that he can say he actually won a peace prize, but it seems like the world is willing to humor him on this, and that he's so committed to these accolades that it's almost like it's the price of entry in Trump's world at this
What
point.
you just described was Trump trying to turn the United States into a pre-constitutional era where he can act as a monarch that gives and gets gifts from other countries and companies. And FIFA just cashed in on that. They realized that they can placate Trump, placate his personality. And it's not a good look for the United States. It's honestly humiliating that other countries are treating our president like a child, like a baby. This is like if I created the Mockler Peace Prize and I gave it to Adam Mockler right away. I'm like, I'm just going to keep this medal on all night. I really like this. Our president is an actual child, and other countries are treating him like a child while giving him gifts to placate him for policy. This should scare everybody who cares about the Constitution, and FIFA is just one piece of the pie.
He also, loves to put his name on everything.
Yeah.
He put his name on the U.S. Institute of Peace. Eric Erickson, a conservative commentator and radio host, said, had Obama done this, I would say what I say now. This is third world kleptocracy behavior. I don't know. It's kind of hard to argue with that, because why would he put his name on? Why would he put his name on an empty building?
Different
Kevin?
take on the whole thing. This was a PR not stunt, but event to bring over one of the largest money makers in sports. Remember, music and sports are bipartisan. Soccer, called football everywhere else on earth, is the largest sport on earth. And the U.S. has never really embraced this sport. Even though every kid in school plays soccer, this is a chance for FIFA, which makes most countries pay hundreds of millions of dollars to get the World Cup. My guess is Trump paid nothing. Because FIFA wants to get.
The World Cup was already coming
he wants
here.
to get
I don't know what you're talking
this bit.
about.
He's bringing in millions and millions of dollars, the tickets, all the merch, the massive amount of media that's coming in the United States, which gets the lion's share of the games. Canada's involved. Mexico's involved. They had both the leadership
Yeah, but
there.
that was happening
The World Cup was
before all of
happening,
this.
But listen,
the World Cup is happening.
This is phenomenal business for the United States. He's
Yeah,
a deal maker.
I
You
guess
don't like his medal?
here's the
Who
thing:
cares?
the World Cup was going to be here whether Trump won the FIFA
Award
Peace
or
Prize
not.
or not.
Yes.
Okay, the World Cup was coming to the United States. And actually, Trump has been threatening to send immigration enforcement
to the
World Cup.
Yes.
So maybe they're trying to kind of get him to back down on some of that other stuff, but it was coming regardless.
Yes,
so this is not related.
You said it right, Kevin.
Kumbaya moment.
You said
You
it
loved
right.
it. You
it
loved
was a
it.
stunt.
Kumbaya.
It was a stunt. And Trump is good with stunts. And every child, including myself, did play soccer when we were little. The only difference, when I was little, I didn't get a participation trophy, and today our president did.
Well, you didn't play long enough.
Right, because that's what everybody makes fun of this generation, is that we aren't tough enough and hard enough. They were gifts. I'm sorry. Like, there are really serious things happening in this world. When I saw this today, I laughed. It was a good laugh. It was a good full belly laugh, because the way he picks up the medal, he puts it on himself. It just, like, it writes itself.
SNL will have a field day.
I'll tune in tomorrow. Please make me laugh.
So here's another thing. The National Park Service has changed its schedule for next year's dates when you can come into the park for free, usually on federal holidays. Now you can come in for free on Trump's birthday.
Knew it.
But not MLK Day or Juneteenth, which is a federal holiday. What are we doing?
Why?
You know, I mean, Trump is great at trolling the left. I mean, that's what the name on the building is all about too. I mean, it's just he shut down that sinkhole of money that was helping no one actually. And we saved $50 million a year, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to put my name on that building to remind people.
Why do you think it's trolling? I mean,
because it drives the left crazy.
But if you argue that everything is trolling, and then suddenly we have Donald J. Trump's name on everything in this country, like we do in,
it's not on everything.
I mean,
on this one.
To quote Eric Erickson, in third world kleptocracies. Then suddenly it's not just trolling anymore. Suddenly it's a real thing.
My gosh, we have congressmen who have named buildings and roads and cities all after themselves.
Can we talk about
all
the
over
national
the country.
park, though?
All over the country.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to distinguish two facts here. You weren't saying disrespecting MLK or ignoring the day when the final slaves who actually were still enslaved learned they were being free is trolling the left. We can agree that in this country, slaves being free and MLK did a service. That's not trolling the left, right?
Well, no,
or is it?
I don't think that's trolling the left, but I'm just saying, when you said MLK, you don't get in free, have you ever gotten in free on MLK Day?
It's a federal holiday.
So he stopped it to make the left bad.
You know, my favorite.
I'm so tired of trolling. Are you, this idea of politicians trolling people who disagree with them, who have legitimate disagreements with them? Is that what politicians should be doing? Imagine in other professions, somebody's an accountant and they go into their office and they're making fun of people who are potential clients. And their boss says, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I was just trolling." I mean, would this be acceptable in any other, unless you were, again, it's like Saturday Night Live that they've referenced. Should politicians who literally can deal with life and death in their decision making, should they be trolling people? I mean, is anybody else tired of this? And anytime these weren't the most egregious things in the world, but even egregious things that Donald Trump does, like threatening the lives of other politicians, these creeps like this Hal Lambert here go on Abby Phillip show and just, it was just a joke. He was just kidding around. I really hope in the next presidential election that we will have a debate where the moderator will say, okay, we've had a president who spent years and years, quote unquote, trolling people. How will we know if you become president, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, that what you say is not a joke and is actually real? How are we supposed to distinguish that? And I love in terms of the FIFA peace, and it was a peace award that Donald Trump got, because he supposedly has stopped all these wars. What's Donald Trump up to? 9 wars now that he claims he's stopped when he hasn't stopped any wars? But I love that Abby Phillip calls it a participation trophy, which is exactly what it is. And like they were saying, if the exact same thing happened under Biden or Obama, imagine how the right would have melted down. Obama's just giving himself all these awards. It's outrageous. And Kevin O'Leary, I'm convinced that this guy is just not that bright. How he got to the point where he's gotten, I don't know. And it's proof that you don't have to be a genius to be rich. According to Kevin O'Leary, it's great that Donald Trump took this fake award because look what he's doing with bringing FIFA to the United States, and then Abby Phillip points out he didn't do it. And it's more likely, as they said, that they were trying to get out in front of Trump so he doesn't try to punish them in some way. These are certainly not the two biggest issues happening in our country. If it were, I think that would be pretty nice. But when people are struggling to afford health care and to just eat, and then we have this clown running our country who's giving himself fake awards, it just shows how far we've fallen as a country. You have to laugh to keep from going insane, but it is sad.
Example of Donald Trump trolling the Democrats is probably when he called for the execution of Democrats a few weeks back, or when he called us traitors, or when he said we're not to be taken care of.
Democrats.
He absolutely called for Alyssa Slotkin to be hanged. But I want to ask Kevin a question. Sure. You essentially tried to you have the most charitable possible interpretation of what's happening here, that this is a business deal.
It is.
Do you not see the slippery slope when the president is able to give and receive gifts in a very transactional way? Like, what if there is a Democratic president who's in power next, and he's not as favorable to a company that you care about?
No,
and
wait
then
a second. Every president of the United States is gifted everything. There's all
that
these
list
gifts
that Abby
for
just read, there's
generations.
no way.
Just because he's wearing a medal around his neck, he brought in $100 million of merchandise into the U.S. economy.
To Kevin's point,
this is what I say. Thank you.
Presidents do get gifts, but they're supposed to give it to the State Department. If they want to keep it.
How do you know he's not going to give the Rolex clock to the State Department?
I didn't say
You
any
know
of
he's
that.
going to hang that medal in
Kevin,
Oval.
I
can't wait to
Kevin, I
visit
didn't
the
say any of
clock.
that.
I wanna visit
I'm just
the
letting
clock.
you know
I
that
wanna
this
see
is
the
the normal
medal.
procedure.
Yeah.
So we will find out. Usually there's a report. We'll find out later whether or not they kept it. And
What about
if you keep it, you have to pay for it.
747? Remember that one?
The
Yes,
740.
we do.
I love that
So
gift.
I think that will be a really important question. Who gets that plane? Because he says it's
You know
not
what,
going to be Air
Abby?
Force One.
I'm getting the plane.
And
I'm going to buy
His
it.
presidential
We'll see.
library gets it, right?
Listen, if
Well,
he's not
we'll
using
see.
it, I'll
I mean,
buy it.
I think that
But
they
that's
may
a good
be trying to
example
make
of
it
that
Air
is
Force One.
pure corruption. That's
And
not a
I
good
want
thing.
the American people to get the proceeds of my purchase. How about
right.
that? Right here on the show.
All right, next for us.
Now, never forget that Kevin O'Leary is Canadian. I mean, I guess he talks at another point in this episode of Abby Phillip Show that he lives in Miami, but he is Canadian, so none of this really matters to him. And he's a super rich guy. So again, none of this is really going to matter to Kevin O'Leary. But it's another instance where we think, does anybody think that the president getting a plane from another country, that there will be no strings attached to that? You know, he gets this personal gift that they try to claim is for the country. Do you or I get to fly on that plane? No. But the Trump administration tries to make out like, you know, this is saving the country money. But we know there will be strings attached to that. And because Donald Trump gets this personal gift, other Americans may have to sacrifice for that gift in terms of potentially a war, since it came from a country in the Middle East, or higher oil prices because we're going to deal with that country. Who knows? But of course, Kevin O'Leary, it's just, what's the big deal? He's getting gifts. Presidents get gifts all the time. Who cares? We've never had a president this transactional and who looked at our treasury as his own personal bank account, and had an administration who was just trying to pillage as much as they can possibly out of the country. I mean, never forget the fact that Donald Trump has made billions of dollars while he's in office. And of course, back to the trolling part, Adam Mockler talks about how Donald Trump made threats against Democrats in Congress, claiming that they were treasonous. And Hal Lambert here says, no, he didn't. He didn't make any threats. And Mockler says, yes, he did. Points out rightfully that Donald Trump did. And that's the thing that these MAGA goons do every time they go on Abby Phillip's show. The progressives or Democrats who come on say, look outside, the sun is shining. It's clearly a sunny day. And the MAGA commentator says, no, it's not. It's raining outside. They will attempt to take facts that are undeniable. Adam Mockler is exactly correct in stating that Donald Trump made threats on the lives of Democrats. That was not trolling. And then we have these MAGA propagandists go on Abby Phillip's show and say, no, they didn't. Everything is so upside down, and it just seems like, I mean, at least going back to COVID, that we slipped into an alternate universe. I mean, does anybody else feel that? Let me know in the comments if you feel like we've entered some alternate reality where we've never dealt with this kind of insanity before. And would you tie it back to COVID, or was it when Donald Trump came down the golden escalator, and was it 2015? And how do we get out of this? I mean, Donald Trump is not going to be forever, won't be here forever, hopefully. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with what Adam Mockler had to say here about the participation trophy for Trump and the trolling that's not really trolling? Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is he right that just, these bribes, which is what they are, these are insignificant, and actually they benefit the United States because of all the money that Donald Trump is bringing here? And also, what's up with Kevin O'Leary's outfit? What exactly is he wearing there? Can you tell me what that is? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.